Today, I'm hanging with Cal Mather. If you're not aware, Cal is one of the strongest boulderers across Australia. He's put up and repeated some of the most recent hard boulders. He came into my radar because of his ascent of the iconic climb at Arapiles, Punks in the Gym, the first 8B+/32 in the world at its time. It was an absolute pleasure, and I was honoured for Cal to give his time just 2 weeks after the ascent of Punks last year. We recorded this back in April last year, and I'm so excited to finally get this episode out. So please sit back, enjoy episode 3 of The Hangout with Cal Mather.
Basically, rock climbing became a way of life.
Thanks heaps for joining me, mate. I want to show my gratitude for you to stepping into this space. It's a unique space. It's a new one for me as well. But I want to first thank you for coming on, but also showing some gratitude to you sending me down the path to become a student of climbing with your recent achievements of sending Punks in the Gym, which we're going to get into, and I want to know everything about it. Mm-hmm. But sending me down that pathway has been so instrumental in, I think, what's going to be improvement in my climbing and everything as well. So thank you. I first wanted to touch on your YouTube channel.
Cool.
I had a little deep dive into that, and it was so fun. The one that piqued my interest and grasped my curiosity was, I advise you all to go watch it and listen to it, Lord of the Rocks.
Nice.
Really enjoyed that one. It brought up something of my childhood. And if you haven't watched it, please do. And it's Cal sending hard boulders to the theme music and soundtrack of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the right of the row here, him charging in, and you're just watching him send these awesome epic looking boulders, which are co-named, which I believe maybe First Ascents as well.
Some of them.
Yeah. Named around the Lord of the Rings characters. I wanted to start the conversation with the journey of climbing. It sends you down an adventure, an epic adventure of tales. What do you find the parallel between the journey of the climb and the journey of the fellowship?
Great question. First of all, thanks for having me, Tom.
I appreciate it.
I'm excited to be here. Wow, great question. To know, climbing is just pretty epic. Yeah. Gets you out there. I love, I don't know, I love the feeling of like making it happen in spite of something. That's a cool feeling. Like I was there in last January, and I really like, I don't know, like it's summer. Connies aren't ideal, but I like being out there and trying regardless, trying to make it happen. I think like growing up in Far North Queensland taught me that. You just try, like the good day might not come, just be out there. And I reckon that's pretty, yeah.
Totally. Drawing
pretty
inspiration
epic.
of
from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You make it happen.
Totally.
Go on the adventure.
You rise to the occasion, just like Frodo.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's that's hilarious. Yeah, I find I don't know, that's just, I watched so many of the videos, and that one was just like so uniquely done, where I'm like, it's piquing my curiosity.
Yeah.
You touched a little bit there on Far North Queensland, and I remember Alex Mago says there's no such thing as bad conditions, only weakness, and you're a product of that philosophy, it seems, where you've climbed in all of the humidity and even sent incredibly hard boulders in probably what wouldn't be the peak
ideal
climbing conditions. So yeah, you're a prospect and a shining light for people there. The beacon of Minas Tirith, some might say.
You're good. I'm not that big of a fan. I love Lord of the Rings, but I haven't gone that deep. Yeah.
Well, I've stepped too deep into it. Yeah, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings.
You take it from here. It's a Lord of the Rings podcast.
We just change it. Yeah. Gollum does do a bit of climbing, so there is actually a now every movie I watch, I don't know, you being a climber, that you notice every bit of climbing in every single movie, and you just like kind of breaking it down a little bit. And yeah, Gollum does some good stuff.
Indeed.
He does. But I want to throw back just to a little bit of your childhood and finding climbing and where that all came. I know reading a recent article, it said that you were your parents were moving around a lot and had a nomadic nature.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. So the moving around, and then at what point you found climbing and took it into your life.
Cool. Yeah. So when I was like 3 months old, my mom was studying Chinese and teaching at uni at the time, and found she wasn't really learning that much Chinese living in Australia. Dad was in the Navy, and she just said, let's do it. Let's pack it up and move it all to China. So we moved to China when I was like 3 months old, and then sort of went back and forth maybe a year or so between Australia and China, because dad stayed in the Navy the whole time. And then every so often they would both take a year off and we'd go somewhere. Like, I think the first big trip I remember was, this is a good one. So dad moved to China for a little bit there as well. And both my parents were teaching at the Chinese kindergarten that I went to. And I don't know what the problem was, but there was some problem getting our visas. Like the kindergarten was meant to get all of our visas for us. And there was some problem, and they said, this is too hard. We're just going to get them fake visas and it'll probably be fine, right? So mom's at work. I'm with my older brother, Aiden, and my dad at home. And we get a knock on the door from the Chinese authorities saying, get out of the country. Yeah, they asked us to go get our passports, big black star, leave China.
What?
So I think that was the first time I remember like packing it all up and hitting the road. So we lived in a tent in Hong Kong for 2 months after that.
Oh, wow.
My mum had to finish her contract. So it was around New Year's. We didn't have that much money. We were just living in a tent in Hong Kong. I would have been 5 at the time. My brother was 8. And a bunch of people were there camping for New Year's who way overpacked. Camping isn't that big a part of Chinese culture nowadays anyway. So everyone had way too much stuff, and they just left us all this food. So we just sort of lived on like leftover Chinese New Year food for 2 months until my mum finished her contract. And I think that's my first memory of like living like that. But then, yeah, every so often we would just do a big world trip. Like when I was 11, we spent like 7 months traveling around Europe. I think we had 3 days in a hotel, and the rest was in a tent. It was just important for my parents to have us see the world, and they couldn't afford for it to be glamorous. So that's the way we did it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's massive props to them as well. I think what parents are willing to sacrifice for their kids to actually not just live in a bubble of the place that they grow up and stay there, like to be able to expose you to all these different cultures and all these different places. I know for me, like I did some travel younger, and that planted this bug where I'd travel as an adult, and what that did for my own perspective to see the world, and for you to do it in like an incredibly unique way as well. And at such a young age, it's
pretty special.
I can tell you're a good man, and your parents have obviously done a beautiful job, and that's a big reason for that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that might be the thing I'm most grateful for from them. It's just seeing the world when I was so little. Yeah. Anyway, back to climbing. So we were living in a city called Ningbo when I was 7. And I loved climbing on everything as a kid. and I was pretty young. I don't remember exactly, but the story my mum will tell is that we were like in a park at a playground, and I was climbing on top of the playground, and I was climbing a tree. I always had like a cut on my chin as a kid. I was up there. And this Chinese grandma got really upset at my mum for letting me do all this climbing, because all the other kids wanted to as well. And like not everyone could always get down or whatever. So this Chinese grandma got quite upset at my mum, and she was like, okay, I can't stop him, so I better at least get him some lessons so that if this happens again, I can at least, trust that he's doing this climbing as safely as he can. So she books me and my brother in for some climbing lessons. I don't actually know the name of my coach. I'd love to, but his friends called him Douzu, which is like a bean, like a green bean, or like bean sprout, something like that. And we would call him Lao Shi, which means teacher. Anyway, so he just taught us how to climb on a board not unlike this one. I think he had a 40, 30 and vert board. Wow. So that's where I learned how to climb, in this little dojo in China. And he was a pretty harsh teacher. Like that was very much his coaching style was, when we learnt to clip, he got us to do like an 100 move circuit and then chill on this crimp rail and just clip left, right, 100 times. And that's like, that's how he taught everything. Like I remember the first time when I was learning to lead, the first time I took a lead fall, I was like absolutely petrified. I was a little kid, didn't really build lactic acid the same way. I was holding on for like half an hour before finally he just like yanked me off, and I was bawling my eyes out and didn't want to lead again for a while after that. Nowadays, that's not the ideal way to teach that type of thing, but that was the approach he took. And I feel like with that approach, you always kind of like make or break your students a little bit. And I got lucky and made it, came out the other end. What
an interesting style of coaching. It's that level of mastery, quite old school as well, is driving in that technique and everything. So it's just so autonomous, but there's some risks. There's some risks for sure. Like, it is one of those make or breaks that you could deter people from becoming and flourishing. Like you have a strong resolve, it seems, and to be able to like, bow to the master. That's an epic story, dude. That's wild. I'm already so into this. That's crazy. Camping in China, taught climbing by a Chinese master. Like this is phenomenal. This is the story of the, call him the climbing kid, not the karate kid. Wow. Yeah. And I mean, all of these situations breed an incredible climber. Mum and Dad, what are you doing? Awesome. Wow. That's awesome. And then from there, so at that 11 years old, it was just go. It was climbing's my thing now, and you just take it on from there, or the ebbs and flows and it kind of came in and out of your life.
It wasn't until after we left Ningbo that I think I was very into climbing when I was like 7 to 9. I was coached by him alongside my brother, and I liked it then, but I must have really liked it. I remember we did like what do you want to be when you grow up, like where do you see yourself in however many years, and I my desktop screensaver was Chris Sharma on the S Pontas dyno, and I remember saying I want to be Chris Sharma.
Yeah, sick.
At like 7. Yeah. So I must have been pretty into it, but I still played soccer like 3 days a week, and like once we moved back to Cairns, I was mountain biking with my dad quite a bit, and there's still other things And it wasn't until I was like 16, I reckon, that I got really psyched on climbing. Yeah. I think the motivation just came entirely from myself then. And my dad doesn't really climb. And he wasn't necessarily pushing me. It was more that I wanted to be pushed and he was facilitating that. That's always how I felt anyway.
It's a nice way to look at it.
Yeah. But then I think I didn't really get properly psyched until I was a bit older. I had my driver's license and all of it was coming from me.
Yep.
Anyway. But all those years in between, I think my brother stopped climbing. Maybe when I was like 11 or so. He's 3 years older than me. I guess once we moved back to Cairns. So my parents had owned a house in Cairns this whole time, and we'd sort of been going between. And then after a big Europe trip, we moved back to Cairns when I was 11. And the only gym in Cairns at the time was a pretty odd facility. It's a government facility built for juvie kids to like give them something to do once a week.
Cool.
So it was like open once a week for them, and then once a week to the public. And it's all volunteer run. No chalk allowed because they don't want to have to clean it, which is fair enough. What else? Yeah, top rope only, no chalk allowed. Old school 90s, like there's no flat walls. They're all bumpy. Yeah. So that was what my climbing was for quite a while. I don't know, maybe like 11 to 14. And I didn't really know that we had any rock climbing in Cairns at the time. I would like go abseiling with my dad, and whenever we would go traveling, we'd always like bring a rope and drawers and try and get some climbing in wherever we were. But for quite a long time, that was what my climbing looked like. And I think up until I was 16, I was probably climbing around V3 or so, or like 23, 24, from when I was like 8 until I was like 16, I think.
Yep.
And like I always loved climbing, but never made it a priority.
Yep.
But all through that, like whenever we were traveling and we had our climbing gear, I got to climb in so many amazing places. Like we went to America when I was 15, and like I climbed in Yosemite and where else? Bishop, River Gorge, a bunch of like the better places to climb in the world.
Totally.
So I knew what it could look like,
which
I think was important for me.
Yep.
I've got a good side story on Bishop if you want to hear it.
Please, tangent, love. Let's go.
It was the first highball I ever did. Don't know what it's called, but it's like the classic V0 on. Do you know the Grandma and Grandpa Peabodys in Bishop?
I've heard. I don't know what they look like though. Yeah.
Just 2 mega boulders sitting there.
Whoa.
The Grandpa has like the evolution face, which is just this like highball, clean cut 45-degree face.
Yep. Is that what devolution and the process is on as well? Yeah.
And lucid. Yeah. So it's the other one. It's the other big boulder next to it, Grandma Peabody, and it has this V0 jug hole up the back, but it's a big ass boulder. It's like I don't even know. Let's go with 15 meters as a complete guess. It's really big, anyway. And I don't know. Before that, maybe the tallest boulder I'd done was like 4 meters, like a pretty comfortable height.
Bit of a step up.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're just feeling that Bishop energy.
Yeah.
You're like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Big rocks here.
V0.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a jug hole to the lip, which is at like a third of the height or something, half height. And then you're standing in this big jug Waco. And you have to, then leave the safety of the jugs. And it's like a really easy friction slab to the top. Like it's super low angle, but there's not really any holds. You're just sort of dropping your heels and trusting. So I'm there standing in the Waco, and I'm looking at the next footholds, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And I tried to like reverse it and like couldn't. And I was like getting really scared. My mum was, we had one pad, and my mum was spotting me.
Shit.
She hadn't really done much spotting before. So I was like, I'm sure she would have done something, but yeah, I had mum on spot. My little sister Lila was like playing in the sand, and she was like, Mom. And my dad was taking a photo. He was a while away. So I was like, okay, I can't reverse it. Falling doesn't feel like an option. I guess I gotta quest on up. And my mum said to me, "You're going up, Cal. You are going up."
Shit,
like,
yeah,
hell
Mum.
yeah, hell yeah, Mum.
Let me feel that.
Yeah. So I channeled it, and I went up and I did it. But now, like I think that very often, every time I'm getting ready for a high ball, or I'm like feeling a bit spooked. I got Mum's voice in my head.
That's awesome.
You're going up, Cal.
That's awesome. What's the, like with that specific boulder, what's the get off technique? Is it a down climb of the V0?
Yeah, you down climb that slab, and then the friction slab goes a bit lower, and you end up jumping from like maybe 3 meters.
Okay.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exposure.
Yeah.
Just for your first
big.
highball, for sure.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I was terrified. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. I get sweaty palms a little bit right now, but I get sweaty palms watching people on those boulders, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have your mum's voice in my head, and I'm like freaking out and starting to crux.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's phenomenal. I would like to touch on, I think that's going to be a bit of a longer story, but maybe we just jump in there as well. So like from Queensland up in Cairns, and you saying, you know, not knowing that there was a lot of climbing in the area, and cut to now where I feel like you've put up a lot of boulders in the Cairns area, and specifically Barron Gorge, which you read about in the 50th issue of Vertical Life. It's this great article that Cal's put together, and you're beautifully written. It's
Thank you.
Really well done actually to read as well, and gives a nice expose to Cairns climbing, the humidity and everything there. And then another highball project, still project that you touched on. But yeah, tell me more about the you sort of discovering the climbing in Cairns or Far North Queensland, and what that area is like and what it means to you.
Like, for sure. So the climbing and the climbers that I did know in Far North Queensland, I knew the community at the Cairns Climbing Club. So Eli and Alana were the two people that took me under their wing a little, and taught me how to trad climb at a wraps. Brought me along to Fredericks Peak in Townsville a couple times. And I think they were climbing around like 23 or 4. So I was seeing that could be done. And that's kind of where I was at for a while. Until going to America and seeing more could be done. So then when we came back, I learned about the bouldering in the Gorge, which actually was already being developed back then. I just didn't know about it. So the three names are Cam, Kieran, and Jared were probably the 3 bigger developers. Kieran has a moon board at his house, so the hub kind of revolves around his home gym, and
Sick.
That's a cool scene. So anyway, learnt of the bouldering, and then the very first time I went to the Gorge, I met Kieran down there, which was great. That was like January 2020, start of COVID, and I just built like a tiny board at my house. It was like 1 plywood panel, 30 degrees, I reckon, all homemade holds.
Yeah, sick.
And I love that for like the week that I used it before I met Kieran and went over to his and got sucked into the world of moonboarding, which was really fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and then slowly fell in love with the Gorge and all the climbing there. Got to meet Jared and Cam, and quickly did some of the like the classic V5 6s in the area. There's so many good V5s in the Gorge. Not sure why exactly. There's so many. Like
and like benchmark kind of classic V5s as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's like 15, 20 of them, which I mean, for the Gorge, like it's not that big of
I was about to say, what's like the area that we're looking at here?
Is there like 300 boulders in the Gorge, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. But there's like a lot of like they would be classic anywhere.
Yeah.
V5s. Anyway, so I was moving through those and then started trying some of the harder climbs. I think there was 2 V8s at the time. Storm Chasers, put up by Glenn Hayford, who lives in Townsville, and then Schism, put up by Cam. So I got those ones done after my moonboard apprenticeship leveled me up a little bit, and then had no choice but to start looking for my own projects. And I'm super grateful for that. Like, I think having to, like, if I wanted to do harder things, I had to go and find them. I think that lesson was, super valuable for like my vision of what climbing could be. Because when you see a project, you don't know if it's going to be V5 or V15. And because the Gorge isn't limitless, like to start to finish Gorge, which I've walked many, many times. And I reckon I've looked at like most of the potential bits of climbing in that Gorge, which means that like there's no limit. Like I see a boulder and I think it might be possible, and I know that it is, but it could be V15, right? Like you just don't know because it hasn't been done. So I think like not capping like my potential pretty early on, it was really important for me. Like it's pretty easy when you're in a really well-established area, let's say the Grampians, hardest climbs are V13 that are open right now. It's pretty easy to be like, okay, that's like the top level of climbing, which makes it possible for you to get there, but then really hard to push past that, I think. So I think not having a cap was really, really useful for me.
Where do you think, like, just that philosophy in itself, where do you think that else has like presented in your life as well? Like being shown, A, the power is in your hands, and B, if you want it, it is there for you as well. Like it is like that limitless potential.
Yeah.
Which you can summon. Like, do you use that throughout everyday life and in whatever aspects?
Yeah, I try to. I think it's like definitely a privileged position to be in, to actually feel like whatever you're trying to do is limitless, and like, you know, the cliche of like whatever you set your mind to is possible. Like I think that's only true provided you're already in a relatively privileged position to actually feel like the world is your oyster. Yeah. But like that's something my parents taught me and trying projects taught me, and I feel like I try to carry it into everything I do. I love the parables for life that come from climbing. You can just apply every lesson everywhere, you know. There's so many messages, and it's nice hearing new ones as well. Like obviously these, like, the cliches exist for a reason, but they're also phenomenal. Like if you actually listen to the simplicity of the cliche, you're like, oh, I probably should live my life by these, you know. But it's not until you really experience it on this like very nuanced level
that you can then bring it back to that simplistic cliche and be like, oh, that's how it's applicable.
Yeah.
And I think climbing does that in a super unique way, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And you've done it there. But the world is your oyster in Barron Gorge. What was the time spent there and developing and putting up those harder routes? Like there was a few what looked like open projects, and you ticked those off, a few extensions of climbs and everything as well. Were they at the time, they were also pushing your grade as well as the ability to like push your potential in that sort of sense as well? So it was like these two things working hand in hand.
Yeah.
What was that process like? Obviously you're going to be, not to speak for you, but I mean, there would be points where you're like, is this possible? Like I can see these, and the grasp is within my reach. But yeah, talk to me more about that. So like standing under one of those hard routes, seeing the holds at the time, obviously projecting and what you're experiencing there.
I think up until sort of like V10 or 11, it was like a nice flow on. I found another hard project. I got a bit stronger. It happened to be around that level. And then I think the climb that epitomizes like what you were just talking about best is one I did called Yukio, which means floating world, or what's the other meaning? Or detached from the bothers of life in Japanese.
It's so beautiful.
Cool name.
Yeah.
It's like a suspended boulder, held up by like two other smaller ones. And I found that one, I don't know, maybe on like my second or third. I didn't normally do the whole gorge. I'd normally do like a quarter or half in like a, I climb in the morning, gets too hot. I'd spend the rest of the day just walking, looking for rock. I think it was one of the first boulder hunts I went on with my friend Arlen, where I found this project. And I remember taking a photo of it, and I like changed the file name on my phone to impossible. I was like, don't know what, but I took a photo of it. Right?
Yeah.
Like I knew it was possible.
Yeah.
That must have been 2020. And then, I think that was the first time I like turned that this is impossible experience into something that actually I could do.
And goes,
yeah, which was really special. It was like, I think I tried it for the first time the following season, and still didn't really know if it was possible. There's a few like real micros on it, which I knew were holdable. They're like small in-cut crimps. It's definitely a hold, but in the conditions, I wasn't really sure if like, I don't know, something I thought about a bit at the time was like what the hardest possible thing you could do around the equator would be. Like there has to be a limit, right? Like to what you can hold in 90% humidity.
For sure.
And I felt like that might be it. Like these might just be too bad. And then I changed the file name to the Floating World Project. So stopped being impossible in my head, which is the important first step. And then I sunk some time in the following season. And I think it was just a lovely experience. I don't know. Started by that season that I did it, the river was way higher. So I had to build a landing every time I tried it, which is really fun. That happens quite a bit in the gorge. Like it's in a riverbed, so things change. My little sister just dismantled her cubby house, so I stole the base of her cubby house, brought it down in Mum's van, and I was like leaving it under the boulder. And then I got to like build this platform over the river every time I tried it, which is really cool.
It's super cool. It adds to the name as well of like the floating world.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Starts in a nice comfy grip. Go up to this, I don't know, nice in-cut 20 mil edge. None of the holds have texture. They're like, it's in the river. It's like the Gorge is, what is it? It's like granite, but like specifically like mudstone, I think. But like really bullet hard river washed rock. Kind of reminds me of like the river wash bouldering in Barron.
Okay.
Like those holds, they're just pretty frictionless. And then the further you move away from the river, the less bomber the rock gets, but the more friction there is. So a lot of the better ones are like in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And then you cross over to this little slot. It's maybe like a third of a pad in cut that has like a really sharp edge. So one hard thing in trying hard boulders in high humidity isn't just staying on the holds, but like splitting on them is like a huge factor. If you take a small micro in 90% humidity, you cut like almost instantly.
Yeah.
So it took, I think it was like 9 sessions it took me to put it all together. And I could try the rest of the moves quite a bit, but holding that move, which you do the crux move off, you like grab this little seam and then do quite a big move out to a pretty good slick edge. And that move I could only try like 3 attempts in a session as not to split.
Yeah.
That's a huge challenge in climbing in Cairns. Is just like, I mean, it teaches you patience, which is cool, but also it's frustrating.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be hard, like seeing just these potential lines as well, being like, that's phenomenal. And then trying to clear the mind and not bring the conditions as the excuse must be so hard.
It is, yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not ideal, equator climbing.
No.
And I sweat profusely. I climbed in Vietnam and I was just like blowing off holes. It's just so wet.
Yeah.
A lot of cruxy environment management as well, it seems.
Yeah. You have to have pretty good tactics, which is really valuable.
Yeah. And you tried a bit of night climbing there as well, or like early morning?
I mostly climbed at night.
Yeah.
Like just before sunrise was the best conditions, but I wasn't that psyched most of the time to get up at 3 a.m. So I normally climbed at night. Like I'd finish school, chill at home, and then head down like just before dark. But that, even like I think session 7 or 8, I like still wasn't quite sure. I'd done all the moves by that point, but I think I had like 4-parted maybe. Like I was really struggling to link, and it was like August, so I probably had another month of reasonable conditions. And that was like, I knew that would be my last full season there, because the next year I was going to Europe with my partner, and then we wanted to move to Melbourne. So it still felt impossible under the circumstances up until the session that I did it. And I think I'd like 3-parted before I did it. Like I wasn't really that close.
And I just decided to ground up, like you just
which normally isn't that great of a tactic, especially when like, but I feel like on really sharp climbs sometimes you kind of have to, like you can't afford to try the move that many times.
Right.
It's
easier to do the whole thing than keep trying parts.
And then I fought really hard. Randomly found myself through all the climbing, like dazed and confused, and then just broke down on top. Like I bawled my eyes out. It was pretty a special experience. I haven't had that on anything else. Like,
wow.
I feel like I'm normally pretty confident in my climbing, and I've never been in another situation where I truly haven't believed that I could do it and then did it anyway.
I mean, it's incredibly inspiring, just to experience that for yourself. And I think it's inspiring for people listening as well. Like, it's that message of just breaking down your own, like, where I've actually spoken about this on another podcast. The whole podcast was based on surpassing your perceived potential.
Nice.
And that boundary is always going to be there of what your perceived potential is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's so nice that once you get that lesson the first time of being like, oh, I am confident, I'm capable, I can do these things. You pass that like previous perception of yourself, but right next to that is another perception of like, what is the limit? What is possible? But you've got this knowledge now of like, okay, well, I've broken through before, and you can draw on that. And having such an experience, like such a climactic experience, obviously brings the momentum from so far as well, and kind of carries you through, you know, further up the climbing ladder in grades, or just in terms of like self-development. It's super instrumental to be able to like, obviously, but to be able to know that you can do better than what you think. Like it's probably some cliches caught in there.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome. So that one, in terms of boulders, and climbs in general, that stands out the most to you, or?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Of all the climbs I've done, that still feels like the most memorable, most like powerful experience I've had on a climb. Yeah. That's
awesome. And yeah, I mean, such a beautiful name and represents it so well, I think, as well. You kind of have to detach from the busy life to be able to break through your potential and achieve, you know, and achieve what you do. You're good at naming boulders, it seems. You're really good at naming boulders. Like, even there's this highball project in the Gorge as well, and you've named it after the serpent of the Dreamtime story that's carved through the Gorge. So fingers crossed that thing comes to life as well. But like, there's almost depth in the naming of these important boulders and these climbs that you do.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows that you care. You know, it's not just throwing up numbers and throwing up boulders. These important ones have like deep thought and the journey attached to them as well, which is awesome.
Yeah. Some of them get a bit silly, but for the
they got to be. They got to be.
Oh yeah.
It's some are fun. You know?
Yeah. The ones that mean a bit more, though, I like to give some thought.
Yeah. You can draw some inspiration from some of the names on the moon board behind us, because some are silly.
Yeah.
But they make you laugh.
Q31.
Yeah.
This is my lifetime project.
Yeah. That one doesn't draw inspiration necessarily from the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wow. Ukiyo? Is that how you say it?
Yukio.
Yeah.
Ukiyo.
Beautiful. Yeah, that one says things.
Yeah. There's a few projects left. It's like, I reckon the two big ones are that highball one you were talking about, the Budaji project. It's like, from looking at it, because it's so big, it's really hard to imagine how steep it is. Like, even when I look at it, my brain like tricks me into lowering the angle because it's so big. You're like, slab,
right?
Yeah. But it's steep. It's like, it's like 40 into 30 and 10 at the top, I reckon.
Okay, wow. How long would the 40 be roughly?
I think the first half, it's probably like 9 meters, 8 or 9 all up.
Oh,
it's really big.
I thought the first half was 9 meters at 40.
Oh,
that's
no.
massive.
Yeah, 40 to like 4 meters. That's where the hard climbing is.
Yep.
It's like a 5-move hard boulder. And then I've done it on a rope from there. It's probably like V7 from halfway.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool. Is there aspirations to go back for it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Plans to, or
not currently? Yet? No. There's a project on the summit of Fitzroy Island off Cairns, which I'd really love to plan a trip to go back for. Is like, it's just this big, clean cut 35-degree overhanging highball face on the summit of a tropical island. It's pretty rad.
Sounds dreamy.
Yeah. And that one's quite hard. So I think that one is very worth planning a trip back for. I don't think I'll go this year. I reckon mid next year I'm thinking of booking a trip in. My parents still live there, so
awesome.
Like, I'll go back at Christmas, but that's not exactly
ideal.
Prime cottage. Yeah. It's hard to justify going back for some of the projects. Like there's so much good climbing in the world. And as much as I love the Gorge, I don't know. There's a lot of good climbing out there, and it feels like it makes more sense to put my time and money towards, going towards Switzerland or Rocklands or something like that instead of going back to Cairns. Yeah.
I mean, that's the beautiful thing with most of climbing is it's quite eternal.
Yeah.
Maybe the Gorge, it does change a little bit in terms of conditions and water flow, but yeah, fingers crossed that they'll be there forever and be able to hold a history, and you'll be making your grand return at 85 and
maybe
sending a 9 meter high ball.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be sweet. What's the Guinness World Record of highest high ball by the oldest person?
Ooh.
Aim for that. Let's get that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
V14 at 80.
That'd be incredible. I'm noticing a bit of a trend. You've said it a few times, just bouldering here as well, but you'd love a clean cut 45. I'm hearing those 3 words repeat over and over, and that's your style, dude. You'd love it.
I do love it. Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I love boards. I've just spent so much time on boards that I really fell in love with that style, and I don't know, love high tension crimping on steep terrain. Yeah, and it's just so aesthetic. Like, when you just have a perfect overhanging face with a lip that defines like the end of the hard climbing. Pretty sweet. I'm
sure there's a few in the mind then. Whereas you showed
dreamy ones.
Yeah, you showed me a video of a recent. Well, I don't know if it was recent, but you showed me recently of Nikolai Ushnik.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Ascent of, what was the climb again? Sorry.
Bugeleisen sit.
There you go. Bugeleisen sit.
It means the iron, because it looks like, when you have an iron like sitting down.
Oh yeah.
It's like 50 degrees.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it
tough.
Means iron in Austrian, I guess. Yeah.
Fair enough. What's the clean cut 45 that calls to you?
The most?
The most.
All of them? Oh, could be that one. Could be Bugeleisen.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. If we're talking like one line, I think I'd go Bugeleisen. And then one face, I reckon, like the evolution face on the Grandpa Peabody's. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
There you go. It's stacked.
Yeah. Ultra photogenic, like the way that it looks. It's stunning.
Beautiful setting. Good landing. Perfect height.
Yep. Awesome moves.
Yeah, you got lucid, devolution, the process. That's a lifetime of climbing right there.
Totally.
Yeah, I'd love to spend some time.
That's some breaking through your perceived potentials a couple of times there, I think.
Yeah.
Dream climbs. One of them, I want to know the story, reason as to why I first heard about you. Punks in the gym. Punks. You're just another punk. And that is a truism that will now ricochet, resonate. I don't know, through life. It'll just roll through life now. You put yourself in those history books of such a historic, iconic Australian climb. Go watch some videos if you haven't. If you're a beginner climber or someone who's been climbing like myself for 6 years and has heard about the climb but hasn't delved into it because it's above my grade and I hadn't known anyone projecting it, trying it. It was just, it wasn't in my realm. So thank you again for bringing it into my perspective and diving into it and seeing how beautiful that sheer face is as well. Just that rolling Arapalis rock. Absolutely stunning, absolutely incredible achievement by yourself as well. It does put you in, the Australian history books. That is an iconic climb. The first 8B plus, not just in Australia, in Arapalis, but across the globe, in the world. Phenomenal. Put up in 1985 by Wolfgang, the man, the campus king. Where did that first come into your perception? Just the hearing about it, the stories about it. Did it grab you straight away, or was it just slow process of all right, let's see what this is about?
Yeah.
I'd love to know the story of where the thoughts came from.
Cool. First time I learnt of it was was just after we moved back to Australia. So I was 11. And we drove from Perth up to Cairns via Arapiles, which you drive by. And I don't think we climbed, but we were hiking up, I'm not sure the name of the gully on the right of Uncle Charlie. We're doing a hike there, and Dad knew of the climb. So he brought us over, pointed up and said, I think he thought it was the hardest climb at the time still. That's what I remember of it. Maybe I just misremembered, but he pointed up and said, this is punks in the gym. This is the hardest climb in the world, or something like that. And that really stood out to me. And I remember maybe just hardest climb in Australia anyway. But I knew then that I wanted to climb it.
Wow.
I started out sport climbing and didn't really delve into bouldering until I was like 16 or so. So all of my like climbing hopes and dreams were around sport climbing up until then. So since then, I've always wanted to do punks. And then it's history, and the aura around it's just grown as time's gone on. Everyone knows punks, hear a lot of talk of it. Got the classic bird bath hold. There's just so much around it other than the fact that it's like an amazing climb, right? I really like keeping lists, big lister. And I have like a pretty extensive bouldering life list. But for quite a long time, the only few on my route life list were like Dreamcatcher, biography, and punks. Just because I'd like never bothered to flesh it out anymore. But it was just always there in the back of my mind as something I'd love to do in my time. And then moved to. Well, I'd spent a little bit of time at Arapiles, like when I was 15 and 16, I think, when I learned to trad climb. And I'd never been to look at it, but had heard talk of it. And then the first time that I went and had a proper look at it was on a Gramps trip in 2022. I actually didn't know it was there. I was going to look at Never Say Never, which is like a hard boulder just down from it. And like when you're standing under Never Say Never, punks is like just up and to the right. And I'm like, wow, that's a cool face. I wonder what that is. There it is.
It brings it back into your life a little bit.
Yeah. So that was just a nice reminder of it. And then I hadn't intended to like actually start trying it until I was in Switzerland this past November or October when the bands were announced, or the new management plan was announced. And I've been in bouldering mode for a while, and I've been really enjoying that. And while like I still have a lot of rope aspirations, had no plans to like start trying any of them for a while. But then this kicked me into gear, and then as soon as I got back, I whipped myself into rope shape and went out there. The first day I had on it, where are we now? I guess like start of Feb maybe. I had like a really short window. I finished work at 2:00 on Wednesday, and then my next shift was 5:45 Thursday.
Short window. I was expecting like a Saturday or something like that.
Oh yeah, no.
Whoa.
It was rather short. Yeah.
Yep.
So I
psyched.
Yeah. I drove out there. I was like picking up some. I'd love to build a home wall at some point. So I was picking up some holds. I don't actually know where, but it added like an hour and a half to the trip. So I got there really late. I like pulled in at I don't know, 10 o'clock or something. And I really wanted to try Never Say Never as well. So I was also really sick at the time. I should not have gone.
Ultra psyched.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I headed out and had like a coughing fit session and never say never. I was like, what am I doing? And then went back to the car, fell asleep in the pad. And I meant to get up really early to like make the most of the morning. But I was so wrecked. And I think I slept in till like 10 o'clock or something. And I had to, what time would I have had to leave? I guess like 12:30 or something. I had like a really short window. I was like, God damn it. I've just driven out to a wraps. I had like an hour on Never Say Never. Now I'm going to get like an hour on Punks and I'm going to travel and back.
That's hilarious.
And I didn't have a partner. I was just going to, there's top rope access. You can walk around and just work it on a rope by yourself, which is nice. So yeah, I went up intending to do that. And there's this other guy on it, Daniel or Danny, who was doing the same thing. He was just working it on a rope by himself. So we were like, oh, we can just catch each other. Yeah, he's really lovely. He gave me the full spray down. So I got a lot of like the rough gist of how the sequences worked pretty quickly. Like I'd watched a lot of videos, but it's always nice having someone shout up at you. Who knows?
Whilst you're physically there looking at it as well.
You're like, oh, the left crystal. But like you can't really tell in the videos.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So that was the first day on it. I had like 2 top rope attempts that were like really rushed. But I was psyched. And then from like, I wasn't sure if I just wanted to touch the holds and get a feel for that piece of history before like we might have to say goodbye to it for a while, or if I wanted to go full siege. And then after that day on it, well, I took a step back and got rid of my my cough first, and then I went full siege on whipping myself into rope shape and making it out there whenever I could. And then I think I did it like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. Yep. Did you say you messaged me 2.5 weeks ago?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have been. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was pretty warm all the days I had on it. I felt like at the start it felt really hard. A lot of the difficulty of the route for me was trusting the feet. Like if you don't trust the feet, you can do the moves, but you can't flow between them. So just trusting the feet was like what it was all about for me. And once I learned to trust them, I felt like I didn't need to have both really good skin and good cunnies. I felt like I only needed like one and maybe I'd have a shot. But it just wasn't lining up for a little bit. It's been a pretty warm summer. So there was like, it was like 28 or 9 degrees for I think most of the days I had on it. And then had a random like high of 24 day, headed out late Arvo with my partner Danny and my friend Kyle, who's been trying a bit as well. Had a really good warm-up go where like all of the other sessions I'd had on it, it had taken a go or two to learn to trust everything again. Which I initially thought was trusting the handholds. There's like a really bad pinch down low that I was like, I just can't trust this pinch. And I was like, oh, I need to trust the heel. That's what makes the pinch better. So it took a while for me to like learn what to trust and how to trust it all. But then like, on the day that I did it, the warm-up go, like everything immediately clicked, which is a good sign. And then I did it next go, I think. I'd been, for a good route climber, you can stick the bird bath and probably take it to the top. Like that's known as the crux. But for a boulderer like myself, that was not the case. And like all of the moves after the bird bath definitely felt like the red point crux. Like I could drop any of them. Took a while to learn to rest and trust. I used a knee pad and went between like a knee bar and a heel hook and it took a while to build up to like going between both 3 times and feeling well rested. And then like I'd never projected a hard route before either, so there was just like quite a big period of learning all the kinks, learning to chalk up and clip on bad holds, finding good positions to do that took a little bit. And then, yeah, all came together. Had a good battle. Found myself on top. It was pretty damn cool.
That's awesome.
It was rad. Yeah.
So rad. Yeah. It's whipping yourself into sport climbing shape. I've stalked everything of yours for this. And noticing on your crag, I don't know if it's up to date fully or not, but if it is, then it kind of shows 2 years ago, I think it was an 8A that you had sent and was the hardest grade at the time, potentially from memory, I think, and cut to 2 years now, 8B plus is ticked without any sport climbing, it looks like, in between relatively at all.
Yeah.
Do you think that obviously the bouldering and staying in bouldering shape has helped, but is it quite a bouldery route to allow the abilities to flow there, or is just you after the moment of conceiving the idea, then actually pulling back into bouldering up to rope shape?
I think a bit of both. It is quite bouldery. It's like, I don't know sport grades very well. I have no idea. Let's call it like a 26 or something to the rest. Like it, once you learn to trust everything, it's pretty reliable. And then from there, it's like how many moves? Let's run through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like 15 hard moves or something.
Yep.
And I've done boulders longer than that. Yeah, about that. Anyway, so it does feel quite bouldery. It's like once I could learn to like route climb it and not boulder it, and learn to trust the rest, it did feel quite bouldery. Yeah. Like at the start, just because it was so many moves, it didn't feel bouldery, if that makes sense. And then once I learned to flow through things, it just felt like climbing a para endurance boulder.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
How tall is it?
25 meters?
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks a lot bigger
like
on film. It looks a lot bigger, for
I
sure.
think it's that. Well, you also don't go to the top of the pillar.
Okay.
I think the fact that it's like a freestanding pillar makes you feel like it's a bit bigger.
Yep.
And you don't go to the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, mate. That's it's so sick. It's such an achievement and one to put in the books. I don't know, maybe it's up there with, I've lost the pronunciation, ukiyo. Up there with that.
Just about the root equivalent.
The root equivalent.
Yeah.
The bird bath, looking into that more, is that much of a get into it and seeing it and feeling it is as much as a Frankenstein hold that people say, how it's just glue everywhere, running over it and everything, glossy texture, everything that they say?
I didn't think so, actually.
Interesting.
We're so lucky here. Our rock is so good. Like Araf's rock is like the most bullet anywhere. Like it's amazing. Once you start going to, I don't know, some of the other better climbing destinations around the world, you pretty quickly learn that not all routes are just sitting there. A lot of them are like made to some degree. Less so in bouldering, but like definitely from conversations I've had with some good sport climbers, like it's just a part of climbing that isn't talked about as much. But a lot of hard sport climbs in Europe are manufactured, and we have the privilege here of not having to do that as often. Yep.
Because of rock quality.
Yeah, and ethic.
True.
But mostly rock quality, I think. Yeah. So I didn't really think it was a detractor. Like one glued hold on a route is like pretty good. Considering how many holds there are on the route, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the history only adds to it. Yeah, like I'd love to see some photos of what it used to look like, but basically I don't know who bolted it, but whoever bolted it chipped it to make it a little bit better. So that was before, and then Wolfie did it.
Yep.
And then Andy Pollitt was the one who first glued it. And I think there's some controversy over if it crumbled or not before Andy glued it.
Right.
So now it's better.
Yep.
I don't know. Where are we? It must have been 90s that it was glued. It's a little bit better. It's like that for a while before the glue crumbles. And then I think it's seen like another few layers of glue since.
Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was that crazy. Like when you look at it, you can clearly tell it's glued. It's quite a nice, comfortable hold. And the friction isn't really that much worse than any of the other holds. Have you climbed it perhaps much?
No, not heaps,
okay.
but have touched the rock there.
You know, it's pretty slick already,
Totally,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel that different from a lot of the other holds. Like,
How interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
a
I just
story
think
about
the
it.
story's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the man who bolted it was a Swiss climber, Martin Schiel.
Nice.
I wrote that down just
Heck yeah.
to kind of keep a bit of history there.
Yeah.
Martin Schiel, what a legend.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Thanks, Martin.
Yeah, great vision, mate.
Yeah, great vision.
Great vision.
Got a good eye.
Yeah, totally. Pulling yourself into rope shape, to come back to that, what does the training aspect look like? So going from bouldering and tailoring the training a bit more, how long did you take to get into shape, and what did it look like? Was the climbing style or the actual training style like for yourself?
I work at Urban Climb Blackburn, which is pretty handy. It's like definitely the best rope gym around, and I don't know what I would have done if I didn't. I guess I had just a bunch of circuits on a board, but having access to Urban Blackbird was pretty sweet. I pretty much just stopped bouldering for like 3 weeks, maybe. I didn't feel like it took me that long because I'd done some power endurance training for bouldering in the past, and felt like I already have a reasonable power endurance base. So it was more just getting used to fighting through pump and route tactics. That was what needed learning. So I just kind of stopped bouldering and started climbing on a rope at Urban 4 days a week. Did like a harder day and then a volume day, and just kept doing that until I felt pretty fit.
Pumped up that endurance.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've always liked making my training as specific as possible. Like, you know, if I want to do a hard 3-move boulder, I'm going to do a hard 3-move boulder on the board to train for it.
Yeah.
And like I didn't do like repeaters or anything. I just stuck to climbing.
Actual climbing.
Yeah.
It's always the most fail-safe way of training. That
Climbing makes you better at climbing.
Totally, 100%.
Yeah.
You look at all these new climbers, and I think I fell into the trap as well of being like, all right, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I've got to do repeater, I'm going to do 4x4, all of this stuff. But yeah, just as much as you can, touch rock, go climb, whatever you need to do, and that's going to fully complement,
further,
you know, exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
And what a place to do it at Urban Climb. There's some really, really well set, awesome walls there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's punks.
That's punks. Is there any other standout moments for yourself in terms of, like, I know in myself, and there's a few other climbers that most climbers, you got almost the two gratifying moments. Like you got obviously the send, which is awesome, and then you also have the moment where you then break through that barrier where like I got it, I can do it, and then it's just the siege from there. Was there any standout moments on the route for yourself that wasn't just involving clipping chains?
Yeah. Learning not to rush, or just giving the rest of the route around the crux a bit more time was really fun. Like on hard boulders, it just is the crux, you know. You have less to focus on. But after I got the crux pretty dialed, I immediately went to giving goes from the bottom, which was a mistake. Okay. And then I took a step back and made like the pretty easy intro, way more fluid and smooth. Just like how to carry my momentum between the moves. And even though they're like pretty easy moves, that obviously adds up. And even though you get the rest, you know, it's obviously going to, let's say you get 40% back, you're going to be feeling more fresh if you come into the rest feeling more fresh, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But that didn't feel like that obvious to me.
Yeah.
And then there's this other section down low, like after second, you like leave this jug undercling. And the first time I tried it, I like went direct. There's like this pretty good hold. You go up to a right hand side pull, high foot, and then you come into this small undercling. So that's like 2 moves. And I just thought that because I did that first try and it was only 2 moves and it didn't feel hard for me. So I just stuck to that, right? But actually that was like a way better sequence where you come off the underclings, you go right on a few other underclings, way easier to place that high foot, and then you go like side pull undercling. So it's like way more moves, but they're all way easier. Right. So there was a few spots, and then up top, same thing again. Like after I fell a bunch after sticking the bird bath, maybe like 6 times, I'm gonna say. A few times on the hand foot match, which is quite hard, and then a few times after that. And I was like trying to like skip a few moves which I thought was making the sequence more efficient, and it just wasn't at all. Like the go before I did it, I like tried that bit again and then like added 2 moves to my sequence. Yeah, and that was just really fun, like having to, I don't know, learn how to project a route, and it's pretty different from projecting a boulder.
For sure.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, it was good. Spending time with my partner there. She hadn't spent that much time at her wraps, and like doesn't love like trad and sport climbing outside. But like the Pines and Arapiles is just an amazing place to be. Actually, I really miss that about like solo Gramps bouldering trips, which I love, but like there's nowhere like the Pines. Like the Pines is so special. It was really fun just spending time with her there. Jumped on the slack line. Yeah, sick.
The full exposure.
Yeah, exactly. The Pines experience. She had already done it with some friends, but we did the squeeze test together. Yeah, just all the things that make a raps awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. I wonder what else touches. Is there anything else about punks that you feel like people would like to listen to? You can go into the nitty gritty of the holds, but
you want a breakdown?
If you've got them, if you want to run through your sequence, I would love to hear the sequence.
Heck yeah, all right, let's do it.
Sick, dude.
All right, so we start out. You traverse this little slab. Great feat. All your holds are side pulls. Some people do it with first pre-clipped, but I didn't. It feels like as long as you can stay relaxed, like you're definitely not going to fall there. You almost want to make the moves a bit more reliable because like the landing, it's like on a hill and it falls away a bit, and falling there would be like pretty bad. But if you just stay relaxed and climb as if first was clipped, then actually it's fine. So like pretty cruisy traverse. Clip first, shake out, chalk up, and then you head into the sequence on pretty good underclings with really slippy feet. some people sort of lay back it, but I preferred taking all the holds as underclings and working up like that. Like everything's a smear. You just get really high feet, drive into the slippy feet, and hope they don't slip. I think I slipped there like twice. Like it's really quite easy climbing.
Yep.
But when you're trying to climb fast through it, there's definitely a chance of just slipping off. Yeah, and then you get up to this big jug undercling. Punks is pretty much like a sport climb now, but it used to be a bit more mixed. Like I believe there was a nut that you would clip after the bird bath, and then there was a cam you would put in this undercling. But now there's been like a bolt added after the bird bath, and if you just extend second, you don't need the cam. Like you can clip off the same holds.
Yep.
So you clip second. I've got a knee pad on my right leg, so I get a little knee scum in, a couple shakes, and then I go into that sequence I was talking about earlier, where you like go to this undercling, back step, work the feet, work up these underclings, and then you do this balancy sequence where you take this slopey side pull, and then you kind of like in one motion roll into this other side pull, and then into this little mincer 3-finger undercling. Work your feet up. You go up to this good side pull, clip third, get a couple shakes, cross to this good crimp, and then I guess this is like the first tricky bit on the route is you go up to this, like take an intermediate Gaston and go up to this really bad pinch. There's a few ways of doing this sequence. My friend Kyle, so it's like terrible for all your fingers, and then the thumb's really, really good. It's like full pad in cut for the thumb, and then I don't know, super slopey for everything else. Kyle's a bit taller, so he like takes it like that bit that I pinch. He gets everything there as like a little gasto cling thing, and then walks his feet up and goes to the next good hold. That worked for me, but it was a lot more powerful. So like if I could take this pinch, and then you get this really odd heel toe cam on that good side pull, and then you match in with your right hand. There's a bunch of different ways to do that bit, like my friend Danny, who I tried it with on the first day, he like rocks onto the heel and takes his left foot off completely to match, but I preferred distributing the weight a bit and keeping my left foot low to do the match. And then you get your feet up, get a pretty good shake there. From watching some videos, some people actually rest there like a lot longer than they rest at the like the next heel rest. But I prefer just like shaking once on either side and chalking up, and then you get this quite bad left foot, go out to this sharp left hand crimp, swap feet and roll over into the resting holds, clip, and then you're going between this pretty strenuous knee bar and this okay like flat heel hook, and at the start I was only resting like, I think I was doing like twice on the heel and once on the knee bar. It's pretty good, but it's like quite strenuous. Like you can really feel it in like in your calves and your hips. So like when you're transitioning, it's good to get a bit of a leg shake. Yeah,
necessary.
Yeah. So I think I was going 3 times between both by the time I was giving Sengos. They're really good. It's just like, I don't know, full hand flat side pull for your right, and then like a really good in cut crimp for your left. And then you go out to the side pull, work your feet, and then you go into this really cool shoulder move, which I sort of do as one move. Like you go into this flat Gaston and then into another flat Gaston.
Yep.
And it felt more efficient for me to make that one move. Bring bring the plastic skills to the rock.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's one that kind of looks
tool
like
it.
as you're rolling into it, it's kind of almost catching.
Elevator doors.
Yeah.
type vibes.
Yeah. Nice.
Get a really good foot out right, and then get into that left shoulder. Go to this small 3-finger side pull. Recycle that right Gaston you were just using for your left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Go out right to another side pull. Place your left foot on this abysmal smear. It is not good. I think that is the foot that I had to learn to trust the most. Like when I pulled on, like I think maybe I did the bird bath in a couple goes, like the bird bath move in a couple goes, and I was like, okay, like I can do this.
Yeah.
But then when you do a few moves into it and you're a little bit tired, for whatever reason, it's really hard to put all your faith in that foot. Mostly because the right foot is so good that you're not weighting the left foot until you move off the right. So you're like in compression, good right foot, bad left foot, and then you jump off the right and begin to weight the left, like as you catch the bird bath. The bird bath's really good. It's like pretty close to Beastmaker middle edge.
Yeah.
Like the 21 mil one, slightly uncut.
Yep.
You get a right foot on, clip, and then the go before the send I learnt to chalk up there as well, or like learnt that I should. So you chalk up on the left, take this intermediate Gaston, work the feet, and then you do quite a big move to this left Gaston, and then the hand foot match is pretty tricky. You get like a really bad right smear, place the left foot on this small chip, lean really, really far left, and then I dropped. What did I drop? I dropped my index and middle, so I just have like back 2 on the hold. Get your right foot on, go out to this right hand side pull, back flag into another side pull. There's not many down pulling holds on the route. It's like a really nice mix of tech and power.
Bad feet and side
Bad
pulling.
feet and side pulls, yeah.
Underclings, it sounds. Yeah. Whoa.
And then what do you do? And then I shake the right. You're standing in the bird bath, which is pretty good. Chalk up, crossover. You stand up on this good left foot, clip. And then this is the section that I dropped like 3 times maybe, where I really shouldn't have. Like I should have just given it a bit more time. Respected it a bit more. Anyway, like all the holds are like right facing in this next bit. So you like go up to this left Gaston, work your feet, bump to another left Gaston, work your feet again. And then I was just like triple bumping that left hand again and falling. And then, I learned to match in with the right before going left again. And then on the Sengo, I felt really good when I was there. And I thought I could just use the right foot and just like lock in and go to the next hold. But there's a pretty good smear for your left foot. So I like thought I didn't need it, locked up, was like, oh, actually I do. And then like had to come back down and place the left smear and try again.
Okay.
And then you go to this little razor. It's really good, but it's like, I don't know, quarter pad, like super in-cut little razor. The feet are okay. You get a bit of a shake here. I know some people have rested there for like 2 or 3 minutes on their Sengo, which is crazy to me because you're on these 2 quarter pad crimps.
Whoa.
I think I shook once and just chalked once and went.
Because it was taxing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I couldn't learn to get anything back really. Like I get a little bit, but not like
3
minutes. I would have gotten more tired for sure. Yeah. And then you go up to this like right hand side pull undercling thing, and then the last hard move is just trusting this left smear. So like the move to the side pull's all right, but then you place this left smear and then stand up into this undercling side pull thing to get your right foot on that razor blade, back flag up to a jug. And then it's pretty easy from there. I slapped the wall and I was like, felt like I'd done it. And Kyle was filming from a rope on the Sengo, and it was nice to have him there because he reminded me to keep breathing. I was like, oh yeah, I'm still on the climb.
Yeah.
This is still on.
Don't spend it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I rested there for a while, and then got up left hand to a jug, chilled there for a bit again, and then I guess like the last possible bit you could drop is you go like to this right hand crimp. You're standing on a jug, and then little left hand crimp, good right hand crimp. It's like pretty slabby at that point. And then a couple jugs to the top, mantle over the ledge, which is at like 3/4 height, maybe a little over on this big pillar feature. The line is just straight through. There's a few variations that have been done over the years without entries and exits, but it's the line followed straight through this freestanding pillar called Uncle Charlie. Yeah, cool. That's Punks. And
I noticed in the video that you posted recently about your ascent, is it a bit of a run out to the end? I noticed someone said do a flip, and you're like, that's potential death on that one. Like, was that a big run out to the end, or is it you're kind of on jugs, potential?
No, yeah, it's not that much of a run. Okay. No, right before the video ends, I joked to Kyle, should I take the victory whip?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was just kidding. And that was my dad that commented, don't take the victory whip, which is great. Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, no, it's okay. Like
okay.
You take a bit of a funky fall on the bird bath move. There's a tree that comes up to about halfway up the pillar, just like pretty close to the root. The left side of which is suspiciously bare. It's definitely been trimmed a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Because I think I hit it 3 times.
Oh shit.
Like it's pretty bushy up top, and
you're
just like skimming past it before you hit the wall. So like it's fine, but there is a tree there.
There is a tree there.
There is a tree there. That's kind of the only funky fall. It's really safe other than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy you brought up the mixed trad thing as well, because I was going to ask, just from the videos that I've seen, I haven't really seen people placing too much gear, so I wasn't really sure with that what was happening.
Yeah. Maybe we should fact check, but I'm pretty confident that there never used to be a bolt after the bird bath. Like I saw some photos of people clipping like a pre-placed wire after you stick that move.
Yep.
And now there's a bolt there.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
So you were just on all bolts?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. Sick. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. What's next? Are you you're in incredible sport climbing shape? Are you going to utilize that and see where that goes, or you're a phenomenal and gifted boulderer? Is that where the path's leading? What's next?
I think for a while I want to stay in, keep the rope momentum going. Yeah, there's a few others at the mount that I'd love to get on. I'm going to get on Somalia next week, which is just next to Punks. Hasn't seen an Aussie Ascent yet.
Amazing.
So that's kind of a cool one to see if I can do. I think it might suit me as a boulderer as well. I've heard it described as like a 24 or so either side of like a 3-move V11.
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't touched it, so I'm keen to get on that one Tuesday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear about it.
That one and Lightweight Baby. Do you know that one?
Nope.
Okay. Done by Ben Cossey last year. That's the hardest at the mount. It's 34. Yeah. Those two for the next little bit, and then endless climbing to do on Taipan, but I've got a bouldering trip to Castle Hill in New Zealand booked for July, I reckon. Yeah. So I'll probably be on a rope for a bit before I ease back into bouldering shape for that trip. Yeah.
I mean, that's
we'll
pretty much bouldering specific over there, will be.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So fine form for that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
nice.
the plan.
Well, I have one more question, and it doesn't come from me. obviously I've been in conversation with Angus, and I asked him as well if he has a question for you just randomly. And he reached out and he asked me, how can Cal push his level without influence from other climbers at his level in the community?
Good question.
He said that you spoke about this and you had a really, really nice answer about it when you spoke recently.
Yeah.
And thought it would be good to ask you here.
Cool. Yeah, I think what I was kind of same thing as what I was touching on before, just feeling like once I had broken past what I thought to be my limit, like not really setting another one. Like every time I see a new hard boulder get put up, I like consider it as possible for me someday. Like I just stopped like capping my limit. Because even though like in theory everyone has a limit, both like genetic and just, you know, climbing really hard isn't a lifestyle fit for everyone. Like there is a limit, but I don't know what it is until I find it. So there's no point putting a number on it. Yeah, so I think not limiting myself and just believing that like anything is possible. Like those climbs I was talking about earlier, Boogalizing, lucid dreaming, the process, like I fully believe that those climbs are all possible for me at some point. And I think that everyone climbing at that level, like I think you need to believe, like you're not going to climb hard if you don't believe that you can. So even though I've never watched someone climb V15 or and like no one in Australia currently is doing that really, like I see that it can be possible and don't find any point in limiting myself. And yeah, I like to think it's possible for me as well. Yeah, I think growing up in Cairns was really useful in believing in myself, mostly just because I didn't have, like, if you go down to the local climbing gym and you're seeing like, you know, these people that you hold as like really inspiring and they're climbing V11 or something, and you kind of feel like that is as hard as can be climbed because that's all you're seeing. Because I wasn't seeing anyone climb hard, I never had that limit set for me. Yeah. And
now you're your own limit, which is create it yourself, achieve it yourself, and keep passing it. So, and I thank you because you're kind of that now for me and for people listening as well, knowing that there is, you know, someone that's closer in my sphere that is pushing their limit and climbing limit. And even just watching you today on the moon board as well. I've climbed on this board so many times and touched holds and everything like that. I'm going, ooh. You even expressed how chalkless some of the holds are here. And seeing you just flow epically and so easily, I think, across the moon board, obviously strenuous, bit of strenuation as well. But yeah, it just opens up my eyes to not just setting these boundaries and these limits to myself. I think you're someone who's pushing the limit for yourself, and it allows us lower level climbers, hobbyists, and people who just want to try it to really, really push themselves and find out who they are, like where do they stand in themselves, and not have other people in the community tell you what's possible, and be the people who actually allow you to step into your ultimate and true self.
Yeah. And
yeah, you're a true aspect of that, and I can see it. We've hung out once, we've spoke on the phone, and yeah, everything you say is inspiring for me to hear, and I think hopefully for the listeners as well. So I'm going to get a lot out of this episode, and in the future, if these climbs come to fruition, which, you know, if your beliefs stay true, and they 100% will, I'd love to have you back on and talk about, maybe have another session here and talk about those climbs.
Heck yeah.
Because I'm drawing on this inspiration and can't wait to take my climbing further. So thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. Didn't touch on everything, so there's still many more things I think we can touch on. You've done a lot of climbing in your life, and I have a lot of questions. But thank you for today. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you coming on.
Cool. Thanks, Tom.
No worries,
Thanks.
mate.
This is a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love it. Talking climbing is seemingly easy.
Could keep going.
We could keep on going. Epic, mate. Well, I appreciate you, and we'll chat to you soon.
Sweet. Thanks,
Lovely.
Tom.
Thank you.
Basically rock climbing.